In 1954, Reginald Rose wrote a teleplay called 12 Angry Men. And a few years later, in 1957, it was adapted as a movie directed by Sidney Lumet, and starring Henry Fonda. And in my opinion, it is one of the just only perfect films out there. It is my personal favorite movie of all time. And what I personally consider, based just what I've seen, to be the best made movie ever. So today, for the final part of the 2021 holiday special, I'm going to give you my review of 12 Angry Men. So, I first heard of 12 Angry Men because of the play. We read and performed it in my multicultural literature class in high school. I was either in 11th or 12th grade. I'm not 100% sure. But we read the play, and we each got assigned a part and had to act it out. For those who don't know, 12 Angry Men is a story that takes place exclusively in the jury room after a trial. A trial has happened where a young kid is accused of murder, and this jury has to determine whether or not he is guilty of it, based on all the evidence they've gotten. Now, the entire thing is in this jury room, in the original play. The movie adds a couple scenes, one before and one after, but it doesn't really change much. You still go into the jury room not really knowing anything about this trial, and you learn everything about what happened, all the evidence, all of it, during the course of the story. When we performed this, we were randomly assigned roles, not knowing anything about this story or the characters. And I was assigned the role of Juror 8, who in the film is played by Henry Fonda. He's the main character. And obviously I did not know that when I was assigned it. As we read through the play, as we performed these characters, I was entranced. I became lost in the character and in the story that was being told, just the way it was told. And so after we finished doing this, our teacher also let us watch the film adaptation. And so we got to see how these actors of the time portrayed the characters we just took the time to perform ourselves. And I was a stupid teenager. There are a lot of things I regret from those years. But even as a stupid, dumb teen, when I saw that film, I was just completely blown away by the acting, the dialogue, the writing, how not only it captures the essence of the play itself, but also just how it's elevated by the performances within. Performances that we as dumb teens could never hope to match, of course. And it was the first movie I actively chose to watch, I guess you could say, even though we were kind of watching for class, but I could have like put my head down or something, but I wanted to see it because of the play. It was the one that I first actively watched that was black and white. That was from that era in general. And it was just perfect. Even to this day, even 10 years after I graduated from high school, I still cannot find a single issue with this film. The acting from the likes of Henry Fonda, Joseph Sweeney, Martin Balsam, or Balsam, rather, sorry, Jack Warden, everyone is so perfect. Everyone portrays the exact emotions they need at every single point. The pacing and writing is so tight that it just feels like it goes by in a flash because you're so invested in it. You don't even realize the time passing. The mystery that is unraveled just by these jurors talking and arguing and debating is so fascinating that you have to know more. Every second you watch, you're like, okay, well, what happened here? Okay, but what about this? And it's just amazingly handled in ways that I never would have been able to imagine at that time. Even nowadays, having seen so many more movies than I had back then, so many movies that I've loved and adored, even one other film that I do consider perfect, only one, but even though I also consider it perfect, I still prefer 12 Angry Men. That being The Green Mile, by the way, if you're curious, which I reacted to on the channel. Check it out. But just everything about this movie is as tightly written, performed, and shot as possible. Just, I don't know how to describe it in any other way than perfect. And there's some things that you can very much connect to current day. There's xenophobia and racism in there. A lot of assumptions are made based on very little information, very little knowledge, just because of who a character is and where they come from and stuff. There's decisions and opinions formulated because of the jurors' own issues. And throughout the film, you get to see juror number 8 just try to show that there is a doubt there of this kid's guilt. Not that he's necessarily innocent, but that there's room for doubt. And I adore it. Getting to see how he talks that through with the other jurors, getting to see some of the other jurors get angry at it, or complain, or fight every point he tries to make. You see them go around in circles. You see a lot of words thrown around, evidence brought in. You even hear these jurors talking about their lives outside of the jury room. One wants to go to a baseball game, for example. One is an inventor. You hear about who they are. You get to know these characters, which makes their emotional responses that much more effective in my eyes. You don't know everything about them. You don't have like this comprehensive knowledge like other movies will give you, but it tells you just enough to kind of understand their reactions and their emotions in regards to all of it. And their interactions with each other are so like well handled. The actors have amazing chemistry on camera and are able to make just every interaction work. If a character is angry and starts yelling at another, you believe that that person is angry with the other. If a character is cracking jokes and whatnot, you believe he's kind of in a little bit of a jovial mood. And by the end, you even see sadness. And because of the information you've been given, you believe it. It's a film I honestly believe everyone should see. I would never force anyone to see it, but I think everyone should give it a chance. Everything about it, in my eyes, is flawless. Even the scenes that were added that weren't in the original play, the scene beforehand showing the end of the trial leading into the jury room, the scene at the very end of the film showing two of the jurors exchange names as they head out of the court. Those scenes weren't in the original play, but they had a little more color to the film. Even those scenes feel natural. And it just works. So, if you have not seen 12 Angry Men, I'm not spoiling it for you here as to what happens and exactly how this jury deliberation goes. I would definitely suggest checking it out. And again, the 1957 version, because there is a 1997 version as well that, while not bad or anything, is not anywhere near as good. The acting is not as tight as it was in the original, and neither is the deliveries and performance. The original is definitely the version you need to check out. It's, again, just that damn good. And while it may not be seen as essential as some of the other films on this list, there are still plenty of people I've seen throughout the years who would consider this very much an essential film. And I definitely am one of them. It's perfect, but even more so, it's timeless. Everything about it can be understood in this day and age, and everything about it can still resonate with people. So, if you have seen 12 Angry Men, tell me down in the comments below, what did you think of it? And if you have not, again, I implore you, check it out. If you wish. I'm not going to force you. But thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to my 2021 holiday special. I've had a blast with this, even if one of the movies was not necessarily as good as I hoped it would be, to me, personally. I'm glad I've checked out all of the movies I did, and I'm glad I got to make this video talking about my favorite film of all time. I hope that no matter what you celebrate, whether it be Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Yule, or anything else, or if you don't even celebrate a holiday during this time of year, I hope that you have a great season, and I hope that you just have a wonderful, wonderful time. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm Connie, and for now, I'm signing off. See y'all next time.